one. Even. Yeah, we'll start on D. Some defense. It's literally changing, so.
Yeah, we'll just start off.
Yeah, we'll go then. That'll be good. Cool.
Okay, I'm here with Paige and Nicole, two of the captains of Manly. Girls, what's behind picking that end? It was a bit of a hard decision.
Yeah, the wind's a bit everywhere, so I'm not really sure, but hoping for an downwind O point to start.
What are Manly's aspirations for the tournament?
I think just to mostly have a bit of fun. We played our first season last year as a team. It was a bit of a brutal year, so I think this year we've kind of got a bit more flow, and it's really exciting to see that. So we're just here to have a bit of fun, enjoy ourselves, and enjoy Frisbee.
All right, thank you very much. Good luck for the game. I'm here with Shirin and Karina. Girls, big game here today.
It's always a good one against Manly. We've had a few hit-outs against them this one, and I think it's actually gone 1-1 either way, so this will be an interesting game.
All right, 1-1, so potentially bragging rights here on the line. Thank you very much. Good luck for the game. We'll be back shortly with your commentators for this match.
What is spirit of the game?
It's knowing the rules and when they apply.
It's avoiding body contact wherever possible.
It's keeping a positive attitude and enjoying the sport.
It's being fair-minded even when the game is on the line.
It's communicating respectfully with your opponent.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this women's matchup between the Manly Rollers and Factory Frenzy. My name is Daniel Clinton. I'll be one of the commentators for this match. I am joined by the legendary Leanne King. Hello, Leanne.
Hi, happy to be here. It's a beautiful day. The rain's holding out, which makes for some good Frisbee weather.
Because we've had some pretty crazy rain here over the last week or so, haven't we?
Well, over the last 3 to 5 months, I can't believe that the fields are playable, but it's a beautiful day.
Excellent surface here, actually. You mentioned, in our chat before the tournament, with the under surface here is very sandy, so it drains very well.
Yeah,
and it keeps a nice footing underneath.
It is. It's a wonderful sports complex. We play quite a few tournaments here, and the grounds are always in good condition, even in adverse weather.
Well, the wind has largely stopped. It was a little blustery this morning. However, it's calmed down, so we should see some nice offensively based ultimate.
Yep. We like to call it a bit of a thrower's breeze. Separates some of the better throwers from people who might struggle a little bit with a little bit of breeze when they're throwing the Frisbee.
Because it just gives it that little bit of shape, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It emphasises any kind of small errors in your throwing, is that?
It can do, but experienced throwers will just love these kind of conditions.
Well, as the teams break their huddles, we'll look forward to this matchup. 1-1 is the current tally between these two teams. They've played 2 games and they've won 1 each.
I know both teams are looking forward to this matchup after having some close games throughout the season, so yeah, it will be a good one to watch. Factory went down to Hills this morning, who are one of the top teams here, and Manly had a win against Extinction, and that's the first time that they'd seen Extinction from Brisbane, right?
Yeah, Extinction, a Queensland-based club. They've also got a team in the men's division as well. So, yeah, good start for Manly, and maybe not the start that Factory were hoping for, but Hills are one of the defending champions. So, always a tough ask against a team that's so well coached and well drilled.
Yeah, I mean, Hills could probably make a bit of a run in the top division.
They also feed the GWS team. They're the feeder team, much like Factory Frenzy is the feeder team for the Division 1 Factory team.
Yep.
Same club, sending teams to both Div 1 here, Div 2 here rather, and then Div 2, Div 1 later.
Makes for a very strong program for both teams. Helps with the top level as well.
So this is Celeste Sandstrom to pull. And we'll get underway. And Manly are going to have to work against the zone straight away. As Chow will try and get the disc moving. It stopped immediately. Rosenthal will go back to Chow, and Chow
just out of reach there.
Well, Sandstrom goes fast to the disc, and she'll look immediately up the line to Flynn. Flynn has to wait a long time and nearly catches it anyway.
Almost flips it over her back for a catch.
And Factory are going to transition straight back into that zone defense. Oh, an outside in, and Rosenthal will be the one who reads it the best.
So you can see that the wind is playing a little bit of a factor already. Catching the edge on some of the throws.
Wentworth ping. Go back to Chow. And Chow's going to break. And Manly now with an opportunity to go down the field. Mackay. Come back in the middle. It's just straight up dropped. As Norwood is not going to be able to bring that under control.
Still warming up.
There was a bit of a gap between the games. Both these teams played at 9 a.m. and now the local time here is 12:20. As Flynn will break to Sharma. Factory go down the line with a little bit of pace. Okada outside in.
The disc going through some experienced hands there to run down the near side of the field.
So Chow, again, just looking at the teeth of a Factory defense. This is the 1-3-2-1 as we call it. Norwood. Rosenthal. Chow is going to drop it on the end zone line, and that's really what this zone is designed to create, Leanne.
Yep, lots of defenders close to the frisbee. Puts a lot of pressure on. Factory have slowed down their offense. They're going to walk up, have a good setup for the end zone.
And Sharma to bring it in. Straight in the middle. There is a pick call. The walk-off score by Zhong will come back as Norwood is going to call a pick. When you're so close though, it only takes one cut and half an opening. Sharma. Inside throw, it's through the hands. And Manly are going to have another look at this defense as Factory again reset immediately into that zone defense. Wentworth ping tries to create an opening. Chow's going to go outside in. Sandstrom's in the area, gets the block and then throws it. It's too low.
Now on the far side of the field, Manly might have a little bit more space to work with against this zone over there.
Well, yeah, we're not really seeing a lot of movement out of Manly. What would you like them to do here to break this and get moving down the field?
I mean, this style of passes where they're just moving the defenders around creates a bit of space.
Well, there's a high throw, and it's a nice grab up high by Meredith Otten. Norwood, Manly, maybe they just need a little bit of luck and a little bit of streakiness. Sandstrom.
Oh, that was almost the lucky touch that they needed.
Oh, Celeste Sandstrom has read that really well and was in the perfect spot off the fingertips.
Now, Factory having to work it all the way up from their defending end zone. Setting up in a horizontal style stack, which is the running players spread wide across the field.
Rather than up and down, of course, through Flynn. Sharma. Sharma with a nice leading pass. Factory, good flow down the field, cross through the hands. Zhong, low throw to Okada, the lefty Okada, and there's the goal. Factory, they open their account with the first goal of the game.
Yeah, the Factory zone defense was quite stifling in the end for Manly. Lots of turnovers from dropped catches from the hands, so I mean that's certainly something that Manly will be focusing on bringing back. Just a bit of consistency with the catches.
What is the key for, making a highly reliable catch? Like, what is the skills involved there?
I think we could see in that last progression there was probably a little bit of confidence was lost because it was going into the hands and then falling out somehow. So getting your body behind the frisbee if you can. Catching with two hands is always a good tip. Can't always do that, but if you can, it's going to usually be more secure. But I think having a bit of self-belief too. I think that's, in a lot of sporting contexts, is the key. Having confidence in your other teammates too.
Almost certainly. And it will be Ringland to pull. An outside in backhand. And we will see, are they going to stick with this zone defense? Looks like Factory aren't, so Manly are going to be forced to come up with some answers. Taylor still with the frisbee. Factory doing a pretty good job containing the disc. Norwood fakes some and then it's going to go around the edge of...
Throws the hammer over the top there.
And now they're away. Oh, that's a nice look in outside in backhand. It looked good out of the hand. Grace Jacobs, the receiver, just a little bit too far out in front. As Amy Chang just put a pretty good one up.
Yeah, not bad. The key there was getting it over the cup with that hammer throw. Put Chang into space. She had a bit of time to throw to one of the long cutters.
Okay, Factory on offense. They'll work out of the vertical. The first cut's covered well by the Manly defense. Ringland with a huck down the field, outside in. Oh, it's through the hands. Chittenden has dropped that one cold. And so Vita will put one up. Kate Munro with the best read of them all. Just sitting underneath the disc and getting her hands up, getting the block. Manly, on the other hand, are going to stick with their match defense, going 1-to-1 across the field. Under heavy pressure, Meads will go to Ringland, who's going to step into it and throw a nice leading forehand that's a little bit too far in the end.
I think that Ringland forehand is a bit of a weapon, so if she can get into that position, the cutters should be aware of that downfield and looking for the opportunity. They're back on with the cup. 4-person cup, the zone defense. Manly get a few quick short passes, which moves the cup around a little bit.
Well,
but not enough for Meads to get her hands in there and get a touch on that disc to cause the turnover.
So Munro. Well, it looks like Butler maybe has got a piece of that on the way through and just pushed it out in front of the receiver. Maybe she got none of it, doesn't matter.
She was able to move the air around the disc just to make it that little bit harder to catch, I'm sure.
Yeah, just to the stats keeper. That one, I definitely touched that one. As Norwood. Maybe this hammer is where they need to go back to. They're going to go with a high release backhand. Olivia Eng will have a bit of time at that time. And now Cheng combining. High release backhand, Norwood. I think Manly are maybe starting to sort out this zone.
Yeah, having that confidence to throw that high release backhand over the top of the cup.
Because normally the wind is what stops that throw, isn't it?
It can do for sure, but also...
Well, the throw to the end zone.
It's an easy to catch throw. It sits up there for you, but that can also make it easy to defend. The defender can come in and make a lot of ground up on that high floaty throw.
Okay, well, 12 minutes gone in this game and we're still at 1-0 for England.
Back to the centre.
Yeah, the reset.
Oh, nice hands there, getting down low.
Well, there's a nice block by Butler. So Vita.
And the Factory girls are now playing some match
pack
offense.
Forms. A little bit of 500. It's a training game that we used to play back in the day.
I never figured out the scoring system for that, but basically you have one person throwing to a pack and the aim is to jump high and get the frisbee.
Generally speaking, in Ultimate, not the greatest option to throw high speculative stuff that just hangs there and whoever gets it.
Yeah, it's definitely about knowing your receiver. Sometimes it's a good option if you know that you have the best high catcher on the field in that pack.
Yeah, someone who's very, very tall or has very, very long arms often can be a really good option.
So from my perspective, you did went up and you both were challenging for the same airspace, so it was incidental contact.
Yeah.
If you do wish to call contact, you can contest it and the disc will go back.
Well, there you go, the perspective. There's the foul call, so they're both challenging for the same space. Looks like it's actually going to be retracted. Interesting.
Spirit's not dead.
No, it's well and truly alive. And if anything, it's gotten stronger as England will pick one up off the back of Vita. And Factory, a little bit of luck maybe as Meads to Ringland. Ringland looking for that big forehand again. Will fall short of the receiver, Chittenden.
All right, and Factory are setting up this zone defense again.
Absolutely.
They've had some good success with it, so.
And a grinder of a point, Leanne. It's been 10 minutes now in this point, and
we knew it was going to be a tight game. We didn't expect each point was going to be this tight, but.
Back to Chang. Chang looks for the around backhand. It's a great throw to Butler. And Butler's going to go short to Eng again, who's starting to come into this match, find those spots behind the zone. Chang just over the top of the hands of Ringland. Butler will put it into space. She doesn't like it. Wobbled a bit out of the hand and turned over.
It does look like Manly are a bit more comfortable around the disc with that zone on now.
They're certainly seeming to get used to it more and more as Meads with a faster throw this time. Tanzen. Back to Munro. Munro going to look to break and go around, and the nice throw to Warnock.
It's a great change in position there.
And Meads is going to test it towards Chittenden. It works out. Ringland, free receiver. It's Tanzen in the end zone. Factory. That's 2-0 now. I think we'll throw over to the far sideline with Simon Talbot.
Thanks, Daniel. What I'm seeing from over this side here, it's going to be a very... both teams have got each other defensively matched. So what you'll see offense do is bounce it around for 2 or 3 passes, then try and take the long shot to stretch the defense out. We see Manly offensive set up against that zone. They set their 2 offensive receivers very, very, very deep, a lot deeper than you'd usually see. That's a hallmark of their Women's Division 1 team. to really open up that space for those little over-the-top shots to counter that zone.
So some great insight there from Simon Talbot.
Factory continuing with the zone.
And Manly still, they're going to have to figure it out. And so far, the high throws over the top are the ones they're going to go with. Rosenthal, however, the throw towards Otten was a little bit wayward. And it'll be Sandstrom to pick up for Factory. They'll work against this match defense of Manly. Some good cover on the dump and the massive layout bid.
And that came from great match defense from the whole of Manly.
Wentworth.
Everyone was covered.
Wentworth Ping getting horizontal and getting a block for Manly. Maybe that's the spark they need. Down 2-0 on the scoreboard. And so here comes Chow. Nothing from the stack so far. Everyone still is going to go with a break out in front. The rangy Otten. Can't catch that one. We come back to the layout block by Wentworth Ping. Just excellent defense there. Pressure on the receiver, and the thrower tries to fit it into a very tight window. Gets blocked. So Celeste Sandstrom bring this in. Goes with a quick forehand. It pops up in the air. It's read pretty well. And Factory going to test their luck deep. A nice catch by Schubert, one of the captains of the team. Sandstrom, who's made the run down the field. Schubert catches. Factory 3-0, and they are well and truly rolling at this point. Factory just clicking on all cylinders. Their zone defense creating massive amounts of trouble for the Manly Rollers. And Manly are looking for answers at the moment. I'm actually a little bit surprised that Kayla Chan, coach of Manly, hasn't caused a timeout. Generally, when one team has a lot of momentum and they're really rolling, coaches and captains tend to call timeouts to slow the momentum, slow the roll a little bit.
Yeah, the other perspective being that they're picking up a little bit on the zone. They're playing a lot better through the zone, so maybe she's looking to get confidence through, a few good completions.
Okay, there's the pull. There is an offside call. Isn't going to matter, Chang. It's going to combine with Butler. And Factory are going to go to match now. Defensive wrinkle decided that... great block. Yes, the block is going to stand as Heather Johnston jumps in front. Oh, wouldn't this be a dagger? Ringland with that outside in forehand. It's a double happiness. Johnston gets the block. Gets the goal, bookends.
Love a double happiness. A great reward for good defense.
Again, pressure on the receiver, Leanne. In that match defense, how do you play good match defense?
Yeah, you got to work hard. You got to be working all the time, constantly repositioning, getting in the way of the frisbee between the thrower and the receiver. You got to know what the team plan is as well. Got to communicate.
So when you say you got to know what the team plan is, you're talking about the force?
Yeah, it can be the force, or it can even be within that. There might be more layers of team defense. You might be deciding this team is looking like they're a dominant deep throwing team. They're going to contest us in the end zone, throw the disc long. So you might have a team plan to guard against that and shadow your players a little bit deep to protect that space. You could do it the other way and have your whole team protecting the space closer to the frisbee.
There's some great insight into how these teams do it as Cardenas puts up a reasonably good pull. And Manly, 4-0. They're down at the moment. And Chow. A throw towards Eng.
It's a very safe catch.
Really starting to come into the game is Olivia Eng, and Rosenthal will mark one to Vitt, back to Eng. Rosenthal tries to provide the cut. It gets covered pretty well, so Norwood filling in. And Norwood is going to blaze away.
Oh, it was a good look and a good bid. Unfortunately, disc probably didn't come out exactly as Norwood would have wanted.
And Wentworth Ping more than willing to throw everything, including her body and the kitchen sink at that. Nearly getting it. Cardenas with a nice looking backhand. Goes a little bit too far for Emily Chan to catch. And so Vitt will go on offense as Eng free, as it seems like she always is. Vitt, Manly sticking with a vertical stack. Factory trying to stop them with match defense. Norwood now towards the middle of the field. Chow will have a pick called on her. Looks like Zhang and Cardenas were the two that got, definitely hung up there.
So it's going back to the thrower. The players downfield will reposition. They'll check in with their counterparts to make sure that their repositioning is appropriate.
So Norwood engages Vitt. Vitt gets up the line, goes past her. Rosenthal will catch. And Rosenthal pivoting. Will pop it up. Vitt. That left knee heavily strapped. Vitt going to look to throw the goal to Rosenthal. Through the hands, bouncing off the knee. Well, Manly, that could have been their first goal and their way back in the game.
I mean, compliments to Factory defense holding them out in the end zone for so long.
Cardenas will try and get it to Sharma. Oh, it goes off the right hand of Sharma. And Manly, another opportunity. Christy Chow will pick it up. The first cut's not there for Wentworth Ping. And
oh, wow, what a find. Difficult spot on that forced sideline.
And Eng to the end zone. There is contact. It looks like there will be a foul call. So, a lot of nodding of heads.
It's a jumble of bodies and discs.
Karina Schubert, the one involved in the play. Looks like she's agreeing completely, so the call will be uncontested. The disc comes in on 0. And now Vitt on the end zone line. Trying to fit one in there. Tight coverage by Factory. It's there, is it? It is. Guess who? Olivia Eng again. She just seems to be able to get free in a phone booth.
She does get free a lot.
And that is Manly's first goal of the game, 4-1.
She's using the space well, going to an attacking position. in the end zone. You'd think it would be easy to score when you're standing on the front of the end zone, but that's when the defense tightens up.
Well, there's less space to defend, isn't there, as you get closer and closer, the field does technically get smaller.
It gets easier to defend from that perspective, and it also gets more desperate to defend. So that's usually when, no one wants to get scored on. It's hard. You're playing against good players. It's going to happen, but people tend to pull their fingers out.
I think we'll throw over to the far sideline and Simon Talbot.
Thanks, Daniel. Something I've just noticed, I think Manly have got factory beat for pace at the moment, but they've got a very short roster. They've only got 12 players rolling at the moment, so that will almost certainly become a factor later in the game.
Yeah, several players out with injuries, not at the tournament, so with only 12 runners, it's going to be difficult. Most Ultimate Frisbee teams, Leanne, up over 18 players, 20 players, sometimes even 22, 23, 24 players sometimes.
It's nice to have at least 7 players on the sideline that you could do a full change after a long point. There are a couple of very long points early in the game. If you're running around for 10 minutes and then have to back up for another point, another 2 points, it's hard work.
Hard work indeed. We call that savage as the push pass is not going to come off. And Ringland going to go with that outside in forehand again. It looks pretty good. Chittenden. Oh, it gets yoinked back the other way. Cheng.
Manly are definitely putting a lot of effort in.
Factory will have to try and get something going. Nothing will get going. The offense spluttering to a complete stop. Norwood off hands.
Factory set up in a vertical stack offense again, which is along the middle of the field.
What's the ideas behind a vertical, and what are they trying to create with that kind of structure? Oh, point block by Mackay.
Not a point block.
Looks like it might come back.
By resting in the middle of the field, you're leaving the wings on either side of the field as space to cut into. And that's where you'll see the players as they leave the central area of the field. They'll be sprinting out towards the edges.
So it was a foul. It'll come back. And Ringland again, going to drop a bomb on the end zone. Oh, some great defense by Otten. It doesn't come off. Factory score their 5th.
Great hands. The magician jet gloves do their work there.
You a fan of gloves when playing, Leanne?
When it's cold.
Lots of players these days beginning to become converted and go to the gloves. Lots of the players from the men's team from Newcastle I-Beam sporting the gloves. What's the women's team vibe when it comes to gloves?
Yeah,
the Sugar Magnolias.
Tim Lavis is quite a well-known player. He's a bit of a poster child for the gloves in Ultimate. I mean, some people say that, I guess it's a more predictable grip, like in wet weather or cold weather. I think some of the men on the I-Beam team do have pretty sweaty hands, so it helps stop things from slipping. But for me, I wouldn't diss the gloves, but I prefer wear them when it's, I don't know, sub-zero temperature. And beyond that, I don't really see the necessity to bring something else to the field that I could possibly lose. It's a good roll on that pull.
By Celeste Sandstrom. Another thing you could lose. I felt that in my soul. I've lost so many things at Frisbee tournaments over the years. And Sandstrom picks it up and gets Factory going through Flynn. The fakes. Flynn really not having much down the field. Oh, nice inside break. It's there, is it? No.
It was a good option. Stall count was probably getting up close to that 10-second point.
And Factory are going to go reset back to their zone after playing a couple of points of match. It's now back, and Manly are going to have to find a solution. They were going to the higher throws, the overthrows, and Chow outside in towards Otten. The rangy Otten catches that one. She points, and then she's going to send it towards Rosenthal. What a throw by Otten.
Lovely throw.
Wentworth Ping in the area. Chow drops it off the right hand.
Very smart option by Rosenthal there to reset it laterally, and you know she was going to get back on her horse to run into the end zone.
Flynn is going to reset to Sandstrom. Nice around. Factory playing with a little bit of width. Sandstrom gets the reset. Outside in. Chan's not there. He gets swatted to the ground by Christy Chow. So Vitt gets it to Olivia Ng, who has been a real driving force behind this Manly offense.
She's running again.
Wentworth
that space where she's not.
Oh, she's
not getting the disc. She's opened up space for her teammates.
Looks like Wentworth Ping looked like she dropped it, but she Flynn has whacked it out of her hand, and well, the disc never lies. Well, that's the meme that is bandied around in ultimate frisbee circles.
I would say the disc definitely tries not to lie.
Well, Norwood has just gotten a big piece of that. There's a foul call. The Okada throw. Norwood coming with great pace.
Lands on a lap.
Heather cross.
So, does it go back?
If it's not contested, the play calling the foul keeps possession.
She didn't have control though, so would that be just...
But if the foul's uncontested...
Oh, yeah,
then
it's still regardless.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Sorry. No worries.
Lots of situations in
where the foul was from.
Always learning the interpretation of various rules in different situations.
It's always a question of, does it stay here? Does it go back? What count is it on? You know, where were you? Where was I? You know, it's all these interesting things. Is Carrie Flynn with an outside in that will not come back. A little bit sheepish by Carrie Flynn.
Yeah, I think the wind might have died off at the last minute. That's what we're going with. Not a bad spot for them to...
Interestingly, Manly play this in from the corner. Steve Baker, our game advisor, measuring the place where it went out was actually some 20, 30 metres up the field. So Manly just happy to play it from the coffin corner.
Yeah, they're up for the challenge, and they're meeting the challenge at this stage. So Disc is in a much better position at the moment in the middle of the field.
Joe, Vitt, Sandstrom will catch that as it goes past Eng. Sandstrom wanting the reset. Flynn has to go to ground.
Great defense covering Flynn for that dump cut by Rosenthal. Put a bit of pressure on the throw. Definitely not comfortable. She almost got a hand to it.
And so Vitt again. Looking. She wants something down the field. That goes to the hammer to Otten. They play with width, stretching the defense. Joe towards, well, it's only Flynn in the area.
I mean, it's the right look. Get it over the cup, get it free of all those defenders, and then you've got a little bit of momentum. Just need to have a cutter at the other end of that final throw.
So Flynn gets us underway through Sharma to Okada. And then through Cross, and Cross is going to reach.
See if this zone defense already. They're all set again. Takes a lot of energy to be in that front line of defense.
Well, Vitt and Otten have decided to go with a new game plan, and Otten, well, it's read really well by Flynn, who ran to the throwing lane and cut off the pass. Sharma combining, getting the 1-2 ball. And there's Cross again. Cross out in front of Okada. Oh, this is turning into quite the tough game. Factory in front and looking good at the moment, but Manly still willing to work on this. Vitt. She's gone to the hammer every single time. Otten is just going deep, and Otten is going to be the target. Sandstrom tries to undercut it. Just never coming back.
Playing with the sideline there. She almost could have kept her feet in, even at least while touching that, but since it went out of play, didn't cross back into the field, no one played at it, the disc is going to come up to where it crossed the field, across the sideline.
Flynn. Manly sticking with exclusively match defense at the moment. Sandstrom with a great break to Okada. Okada works into the flick. Olivia Eng showing that she's not just the offensive weapon, she's got some defensive chops as well. And Vitt will call a timeout. Probably fair enough as well. This point has been an absolute killer.
I mean, perhaps Manly are trying to play to their advantage of not having many subs by making Factory have to play with a short line as well with these long points.
Maybe. It might be the case. It's just an example of tough ultimate here at Nationals. Like, you come and you have these games that are just hard fought, like, all the time, and this is really why you compete, because you want these hard games and you want to learn how to play at the top level.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, the scoreline, 5-1, you'd say, yeah, Factory looked pretty comfortable, but if you were to just base it on this 1 point, it's very evenly matched.
Well, I think Simon Talbot on the far sideline has something for us.
Thanks, Daniel. Just listening into the Manly timeout, what they're talking about is playing against that zone defence. They're really taking those long shots, forcing the back row of the Factory defence to play a lot honestly, but now they're really wanting to implore their midfield players to start getting involved, get closer to the disc. Let's stop. We've got this defence stretched out. Let's take advantage by playing a lot more shorter passes. And Factory, and defensively, they're doing quite well. They're earning the disc every time, but they've just got to start converting.
I'm sure Manly will be happy for having had a short break, as would the Factory players who've been playing in that zone defence for, it's been almost 10 minutes this point too, hasn't it?
Yeah, quite the long point. As they set up, we're going to see the structure here and why we call it a 1-3-2-1. You'll notice that there is one player on the mark, 3 in the wall, and then 2 players playing in the space behind it, with one even further deep down the field behind them. You can see those players close to the disc is Otten. Through Norwood. Norwood, a spicy throw.
It's definitely the right option to try and spread the disc out wide like that, but needs to be caught too for that strategy to work.
It is the simple things. Throw disc, catch disc. Flynn to the fat side of the field. A pack forms. Chan can't bring it down. We'll probably have a discussion. Lots of people in close proximity normally generate some sort of call. Nice move by Flynn to get free up the line. Throw probably just sitting up there for longer than she really wanted. Got Steve Baker in the area. We might be able to listen in to the conversation there.
I can't tell the timing of the contact with the ear. I just saw the contact.
I just felt contact in 2 places.
I know when we both went for it, I did actually accidentally slap your hand down, but I don't think you had the bit on the disc. I don't think you had full control of it, regardless. That's just my opinion.
Okay.
So. I didn't see see anything.
If you think the contact,
You're too busy looking.
if you think the contact affected your bid at the
A
catch,
bit, yeah, I felt like it felt
but there was like a miss and then a potential second grab, and I'm not sure if the contact happened before the second attempt or during the first attempt.
Okay. I just know that I hit you afterwards.
If you can't resolve it now, we've got to treat it as contested.
It's up to you. Contested?
Yep, so foul.
Contested. Yeah. Perfect.
Who's the last thrower?
From me.
Who was the last thrower?
Carry.
I think that Carrie Flynn will be happy to have another shot at that. She might change the shape of her throw a little bit. But she's a competitor. She's been playing ultimate frisbee for decades now. So she's still in it. She still enjoys it.
A competitor much like yourself, Leanne.
Except she's left-handed and tall. Two things I could never be.
Well, Flynn gets this one, taps back in. She's going to try and get it to Sharma. Nice move by Sharma to get free up the line. The cut to the corner of Cross is covered well by Otten. Flynn looking back towards the middle of the field, trying to create some width. They're stuck a little bit on the sideline of Factory. Okada keeps her feet in.
Pinpoint throw there.
Speaking of lefties, Okada goes up the line to Flynn. That's a goal. 6 now for Factory. 6-1, Leanne.
Yeah, and that was a good goal. You know, it was they made the right decisions to get it to be caught in the end zone there. So I think Factory will be happy with that, having control of the play.
Well, I think this game really not going the way we expected it to after both teams splitting the honours 1 game apiece the last 2 times they've met. I know I was certainly expecting something a little bit closer than this. 6-1 now. This is one-way traffic at the moment.
Yeah, maybe Factory came out with a little extra fire after going down their first game today.
I mean, this game reminds me of the highway between Sydney and Newcastle, 5 p.m. on a Friday. It's all one-way traffic. Everyone's leaving Sydney.
Yep, the sooner we get that bullet train in, the better.
Well, wouldn't that be a dream to connect Newcastle to Canberra? That'd be great.
Yeah, everyone could come up and watch Nationals at Port Stephens then. Be here in just a few minutes.
Munro with a decent pull. It'll be Chang to pick up for Manly.
Factory have gone back to match defence.
Yeah, the defensive looks are changing point to point. Factory looking to keep Manly on their toes, and so far Manly really struggling to find any answers offensively. Chang with a great looking outside in. It's Jacobs. Wow. Grace Jacobs scoring for Manly. 6-2 the score.
I think that's a connection that they've been trying to push for the game, so it's nice to see it come up.
Well, there's a bit of confusion. Chittenden is gesturing goal. Chittenden, of course, from Factory. Confusion reigns. It will stand as a goal. Isabel Chittenden, obviously from Factory, calling the pointers in.
Yep. And I think what you'll see is maybe she didn't have as much control as soon as she caught the disc, but once she had control of the frisbee, she was both feet in the end zone. But that's a big point for Manly to, take the momentum for a moment, see what they come out with in defence.
An expression of, you could only call it relief on the face of Grace Jacobs. She's had some hard running. This pointer, quite a few throws she's been the target of, and just hasn't been able to get there. The throw either too long, too far, too high. That time,
just right.
Just right indeed. So Mackay to throw one, and she gets a really good piece of that. It's low though, so the Factory offense will have a chance to throw 2 passes before the Manly defense gets set. Sandstrom is going to throw an outside in. It pops up a little bit high for Cardenas to catch. Mackay and Manly work out of their vertical. Chang, the goal thrower from the last point, still out there playing a bit of savage ultimate.
Yeah, she'll be looking deep, I'm sure.
Kai to the goal scorer, Jacobs. Jacobs keeps it moving through Warnock to Mackay. In the corner, no. Another cut to the corner, no. And Factory doing enough at the moment. Here comes Jacobs, the dangerous receiver. Heavy contact. Was there? Nope.
A little tight. I thought Manly looked like they had a little extra pep in their step. That offensive progression, although they couldn't find the space once they're in the end zone.
Sandstrom affecting the block. And Cardenas to bring it in for Factory. Cheap turnover.
Lovely breakthrough there. Throwing it through to defender. Factory do have the tendency to want to play their offense down the sidelines. See what Chang can pull out here.
Throw inside shoulder. Always hard to catch those ones when they go onto the inside shoulder of the receiver. We hear the, I think that's probably the 130 from Melbourne landing at Williamstown Airport. Cross, high stall situation, gets it to Cardenas. The long throw is cut off by the mark through the hands of Zhong. Zhong getting a lot of pressure on the mark from Cheng. Cardenas. Cardenas with a flat throw. It's good. That's a goal. Corinna Schubert, one of the captains of this Factory team, leading from the front for their 7th goal of the match and a 5-point lead.
It's a good connection. Quite a safe throw into the end zone. Defense didn't really have a chance at it.
And how do you create those opportunities offensively to, you know, have a good throw and a good look at the end zone?
I think Cardenas started there by, she really shook her defense before she made the cut, so she was in open space when she was able to look at the end zone with the frisbee, look at options. And I'd say that her and Schubert have played together a lot, and Schubert knows what she's looking for on those dump cuts. So she's able to time her cut so that she's coming into space away from her defender towards the sideline, just as the thrower is about to throw it.
We saw almost exactly not that at the other end when Manly, they're trying to crush it into the space and they don't really have an open lane. Obviously it resulted in a turnover. So Ringland to pull. If Factory can break Manly here, that'll be half-time. It'd be a pretty bad situation for Manly to be in, should it happen. Vitt gets it to Mackay. Demanding something from her offense. Chang steps into it again with an outside in. Too far to the fat side. Looks like Angus picked up an injury. That's just a bit of a twinge of the ankle, maybe. Looks a little proppy.
Hopefully she can recover on the sideline and come out for the next point. She's been very entertaining to watch.
A key part of this Manly offense as well. It just gets tapped in. A little bit of confusion by Dana Warnock. Thought it was Manly's disc. I think she was going to pick up and start to play offense in the other direction.
I mean, that seems easier. Seems like a more fun option.
You can't blame her, to be honest. Oh, a nice throw out in front of Ringland.
It's an unusual spot to be targeting, but it almost worked out.
Munro trying to drop it in over the top. And Mackay gestures to come to the break side for Rosenthal. Doesn't happen. And then she goes around to Chang. Rosenthal out in front. And Rosenthal to the end zone. It's too high.
There was some nice flow in that progression of play, though. That's what Manly will be looking for and what they've been missing when they've been in offense right outside of their end zone. It's been a bit static. So being able to have a couple of throws, go within a second or two of catching.
Dana Warnock just unable to get up high enough to catch that pass. Now Ringland in space. Ringland again is going to throw that long throw to Johnston. That's a bit of a falcon.
Has a good look at that. It's a good throw, well weighted. Manly were in trouble if she was able to grab a hold of it.
You mentioned it earlier in the game, Leanne. Ringland's forehand is definitely a weapon, and every time she's got those free arms on the forehand side of the field, she tends to unleash a deep one. And
yep.
Well, that one was on target as well, but
yeah, and I think that, you know, the people who are cutting upfield, they know that, and you can see that.
Here it is again. This time inside shoulder. What a catch.
It's a sneaky catch.
I don't know how Johnston's got there. The disc moving away, and somehow the right hand has snagged it across the body.
Spinning all the wrong way, and yep, still managed to contort herself to catch that one. I think Ringland is Factory's answer to Chang. They have similar game styles, so as soon as they get the frisbee, they're turning and looking upfield for something, for a long pass. And both cutters on both teams know what to look for there, so they're giving them the opportunities to get the frisbee towards the end zone. That's a great catch.
That's a hell of a catch. That is a lot of concentration. Redemption for Johnston, who had one bounce off her nose earlier in that point. That is halftime. Factory take this one 8-2. We're going to go to a quick break, look at some replays, and we'll be back with the second half of this women's matchup very shortly. Well, as we break the huddles, half-time, Manly looking for answers. Factory well on top. Daniel Clinton here with Leanne King. At the end of that half, we saw the incredible catch by Heather Johnston. And you said the disc spinning all the wrong ways. Can you explain what that means and how you catch a spinning disc?
Well, it's not that it changes direction mid-spin. It's more like what you're expecting. And I think as you play and you get used to catching and throwing, you don't even think about what way it's spinning. You just know. Every now and again, it'll catch you off guard, though. So if it's a forehand throw, it's going to be spinning anti-clockwise, right? I think so, if you're looking at the top of the frisbee. And so that'll kind of inform how you catch it.
Because when you catch the frisbee, obviously it still has some inertia and the disc tends to keep moving, so you need to stop the rotation but still take the energy out of the frisbee.
You want it to spin into your hand, not out of your hand. And so if it's a backhand throw, it'll be spinning clockwise. And so if you're cutting a certain way at a certain angle from a certain thrower, you'll kind of know what way it's going to be spinning before you even think about it. But yeah, if you've got good grip strength, doesn't matter what way it's spinning. You just clamp down on it with your fingers.
Well, the inside of the mind of an ultimate frisbee player, it's a beautiful thing. An offside is called on the far sideline. Cardenas will go to Sharma. The first point of the second half through cross. Factory electing to go to a horizontal. Conchedo back to Carrie Flynn. Conchedo will get this up the line, a little bit of space. Schubert comes under, gets covered. Cardenas instead will try and get the reset. It's a sharp throw into over not a long distance there.
Yeah, a little bit off-footed on the catch there.
So Mackay will go to Ida Rosenthal. Back to Vitt. And through Otten, one of the bright stars of this Manly team. Had a bit of a rough game at the moment for Manly. A real tough one. Rosenthal getting underneath and getting open. There's Otten again. Manly stringing some passes together and perhaps a little bit of a better look as Otten goes around to Grace Jacobs. Jacobs is going to pass it to Carrie Flynn, who jumps the throwing lane. Oh, and Jacobs nearly gets it back. Cardenas catches, and now Flynn, it's going to drop in her lap. Has a receiver going deep. It'll be an outside in backhand. Huge contest. It comes back. Factory still off they go down the field. Some athletic play by Factory for their 9th point of the game. The goal scorer, Conchedo, capping the move.
Yeah, Conchedo's getting more involved this point, so we'll see. I'm sure we'll see more of her as the game goes on, getting her confidence up.
To go back to the block, we see Flynn just playing the passing lane. Experience there, knowing exactly where the disc had to go through.
She's playing offense on defense, never fails. Just pretend that you want the disc enough and maybe they'll throw it to you. Mind games.
I think we'll go to the other side of the field. Simon Talbot has some information for us.
Thanks, Dan. Just looking at Manly's offense then, rather than try and take that deep shot, they spend a lot more time trying to attack the underspace, those 45-degree angled cuts, and move this down the field really well. The trouble is that becomes a very energy-sapping routine as the players have to make repeated sprint efforts, and it unfortunately torched them on the turn when they were running low on energy, and Factory were able to get that fast breakaway.
So Ringland to pull for Factory. They'll get back on defense. Will we go back to match? Will we have zone? It will be match for Factory. Paige Mackay. Underneath to Warnock. Then Mackay again. Oh, Olivia Eng has dropped that cold. And 2 bites of the cherry, and neither of them tasted very good. Discus.
It's good to see her back on the field again, though. It's a very smart dump option.
The Ramsden throw gets a little bit big on Ringland. Norwood in there on the defence. It's an interesting one. I'm not sure Ringland was going to catch it. It seemed to get really big on her. I'm not sure the foul had much to do with the turnover.
I agree. Hard to know if she would have had a shot at that, but there was some contact which might have smothered a bit of a jump.
We'll see if we can listen in on the conversation as it's happening over there. It looks like the conversation is going to end with a retracted call.
No conversation.
Shock horror in Ultimate Frisbee. It's gotten better over the years. There were games where you spent more time talking than playing, but nowadays it's pretty clean, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they've got that nice little whistle warning when you've been talking for too long, which is a good way to wrap up the conversation.
And also spirit has improved drastically over the years, hasn't it?
I mean, I think people definitely have a better knowledge of the rules. It's enforced now. But I think generally people are quite level-headed when they're having discussions and open to the other person's point of view.
Which is an important part of Ultimate. Ringland outside in. It's a nice catch up high by Gillett. And Gillett's going to go fast.
You know what? It works.
Well,
it's a very good body position on that catch. She held the defender out of her way just by maintaining a position and knowing where she was going to be able to catch the disc from.
Just coming back to that conversation on spirit, you said that it's important to be open to the other perspective, important to be willing to be wrong when it comes to sport, to spirit?
Yeah, and I think with a couple of the calls that have happened in this game already, you can see how diverse perspectives might be and how you might be involved in some kind of a contact that results in you not catching the frisbee and you don't even really know what happened. And that's the process allows for a little bit of information gathering so that you can then make an informed decision. It doesn't always happen like that, but people are competing, so people can get a bit hot-headed, which is a sign of a good competition sometimes. But we've got the observers as well who can help to interpret the rules, and they can even give opinions on certain rules and incidences.
The Sandstrom will unleash the biggest pull of the day. Vitt to Chow. And Factory go back to their zone defense.
Haven't seen this for a while.
They've certainly kept things fresh defensively. Butler bounces off her hands.
Enough to interrupt the Manly momentum. Change the look of things a little bit for them.
Nice throw out in front to Flynn. Flynn is going to throw the goal. Corinna Schubert, again, one of the captains. Factory are absolutely monstering Manly at the moment. This 11-2 scoreline is unflattering.
And I think that, those couple of passes to score the goal show Factory's confidence there. I don't think either of those throws were particularly free of the defender. But they were smart options, just very confident, backing their own players and knowing that, yep, they're on, they're ready for it. Doesn't matter if it's a little bit more challenging.
Well, when we were talking earlier about catching, you mentioned that confidence was important, and I think we're definitely seeing the confidence pervading everything that Factory are doing at the moment. They are just everything is turning to gold. And do you think that is because of that belief?
I think that's an aspect to it. I think that game has momentum swings, and I mean it's the same with the Manly goal we saw a little while ago with some nice connections. Like that was because the game plan was finally working, that a long pass would be caught. So yeah, I mean it can change as quickly as it comes up as well. You can be confident and then lose your confidence just as quickly.
I think that leads us into a natural question. Is it possible to overturn a 9-goal deficit?
Absolutely.
Okay, you heard it here. Manly are going to have the fight back.
It's harder when you jam your fingers into the frisbee rim like that, though.
Yeah, that looked very painful for Pan McGill.
Really hurts when that happens.
Be Jacobs to replace her.
I don't think she broke a nail, but in a few minutes she'll be feeling that warm rush of blood to her fingers and she'll be fine.
So Warnock. Lots of factory players around the disc. Ringland off her right hand as she stretches out to catch that one. And Butler. Manly are going to work out of a vertical through Vitt. Jacobs.
Jacobs still running. She's not having any trouble.
Jacobs, who had just cut 60 metres to catch a nothing, to make her way out of the spaces. Jacobs gets free again. The throw not there for Jean-Maire. Jean-Maire gets the reset. Jean-Maire with a throw that Ringland reads really well and intercepts.
Winds come up a little bit.
A little bit unseasonably cold here as well in Nelson Bay. It's a little bit chillier than we're perhaps used to for this time of year.
I've stopped trying to interpret the weather. It's been too confusing.
Oh, Butler goes real early and it floats up and over. Meads back to Warnock. The reset. Tren. Through Meads to the end zone. It's a goal. Chittenden with a catch. That's the 12th for Factory.
Little friendly spike in the end zone there. Celebratory throwdown of the frisbee.
Love good spike. Good spike is...
good ones, yeah.
As long as they're not spiteful.
Well, you don't want to hit someone in the head with it, but I think if there's a little bit of tongue-in-cheek to it, it could be spiteful. That's fine.
But it can help, keep the energy levels up for your team, can't it? You know, if you celebrate that goal just a little bit, not too much.
Yep, absolutely.
And I think we got the finger guns actually to the camera by Chittenden.
This is not her first live stream.
And if you had to choose a celebration, would you go with the finger guns though?
I mean, maybe it's fallen out of fashion a little bit. I mean, I do think a creative spike. I've been on teams who have spent a lot of time developing new spike theatrics, including playing the turntables or warming your hands around the fire.
Yes. Chang to Mackay. Factory stick with their zone. Mackay can't break to Norwood, so gets the easy reset to Chang, and Chang is going to go towards the tall teammates of Otten and Jacobs, but it's Cardenas who splits the difference and gets the block. Okada to Sandstrom. A low throw that's caught well. And Zhong is going to try and get it back to Sandstrom. Sandstrom in a power position. Throws a real floaty one. That is entirely far too ambitious for Emily Chan.
It's definitely a good space to throw it to, towards the back corner of the end zone. Just need to have the cutter who's on the same page at the same time. Got this zone set up again.
Kai will just go over the top to Ang.
Gets it moving straight away.
Ang not really showing the ill effects of that ankle sprain, which she picked up before. Otten.
Good garbage collection there by Otten.
And taking out the trash, and then McKay is going to go to Grace Jacobs. That's a huge throw. Cardenas gets in there, slaps to the ground. I thought Jacobs was going to get there.
Yeah, just a little bit too much curve on the frisbee. I wonder if the winds affected a little bit. Looked like a good throw out of the hands.
Cardenas. He's going to try and get it. Mackay plays some great defense on Sandstrom. Sharma bails out the offense. And Okada with an outside in lefty flick that is read the best by the Manly defense. Ang in front of Okada. Okada is going to hit the disc as Ang was trying to throw it. So it'll come back on a foul call.
That's what you get for playing hard defense sometimes.
Chang gets it out to
swing.
Jacobs, who's had a great game, has Jacobs. Wentworth Ping rises. Chang again. Otten's free. Otten in the middle of the field. Mackay wants it. Oh, Otten is just going to throw it up in the air. Saw the head go back.
Definitely picked up for that throw as well.
And Heather Cross. And then Cardenas. Cardenas is going to give Okada a lot of work to do. Poor Okada, I think she almost talked herself out of it. But she almost got there.
Lovely flat throw in these conditions. Could have held up a little bit longer maybe.
Kai and Norwood. Low throw to Wentworth Ping. And there's Mackay. Fancy the high throw over the head. Well, that's trusting the wind a little bit.
Perfect.
Indeed it was. Chang just outside the red zone. Mackay. Manly are going backwards to try and go forward. Otten. Chang. Chang was going to bid with the left hand. Nice grab.
She stuck with it.
From the knee, she gets it to Norwood.
Chang's got a little extra energy here.
Oh, that throw is perfectly weighted to Mackay. Mackay's going to go outside into Otten. Manly score their third of the game. And it comes at the 75th minute.
I'd say that was quite a different approach to what they've been taking against the zone defense up until this point. It was more, you know, using the width of the field, trying to open players that way, rather than trying for the over-the-top throws, which sometimes work. They can be a little risky, though, throwing it over all those defenders. And it's paid off for them.
Well, we're towards the end of this game. It's really been a class performance by this factory team. So it'll be Butler to pull for Manly. She signals that she's ready. She gets play underway. And Warnock picks up for Factory. Ooh, a high throw that's dealt with by Ringland, and Ringland's going to throw that long throw again, but Butler has become wise to the tricks of Sharon Ringland. So Jean-Maire. That's Ida Rosenthal, who
almost matches Ringland's catch from a moment ago. Just rolls out of the hand.
There's been so many hard-working players for Manly. They really haven't been rewarded. A high catch. Johnston again.
It's a great read. The strong throw into the breeze there.
She has the old skill tester for hands. The claw. And has ripped it down over Natasha Ramsden. That's a great catch.
It was definitely a rip. You can see for some players it doesn't matter what way the disc is spinning. Just got a strong grasp for it.
You spoke about grip strength and perhaps even timing a little bit as well.
And then there's that intrinsic motivation of having done all this hard running on offense. You don't want to have to turn around and play defense again, so make sure you hold on to it.
I don't think that element can be overstated. It is one of those things in Ultimate when if you turn it over, you have to go play defense now. There's no subbing. Like, you got to stay there until the point's finished. So if you have the opportunity at it, you may as well give it everything it's got. So we're closing in on the end of this match. Comprehensive performance by Factory Frenzy. Kerry Flynn will be the one to pull. And a nice looking pull it is. Butler with a foot pretty much on the brick mark. It's going to work against the Factory match defense. Norwood. Vitt. Mackay. Manly working out of a vertical. Jean Mayer gets a reset. Then the outside in towards Norwood. It's too high. Another turnover. Factory. Get the disc again. Factory have been pretty clinical with disc in hand. Fewer turnovers for the team in white. Schubert out in front of Sharma. Just a fraction too far. Mackay gesturing.
Calling for some cuts.
Oh, Harry Flynn just jumping in front again.
Throws to the covered player. Which at that point might have been a lot of the players. You can understand that Manly might be running out of energy a little bit at this point during the game.
Well, with only 12 runners, it's hard. This has been a tough match. Factory have never let their foot off the gas the entire time. They got out to an early lead, 3-0 at the begin, and it's just they've kept their foot flat to the floor, and Manly have never really found a way back into this game.
Yeah, I would say that Manly struggled with that zone defense early in the game, and I think that really gave an edge to Factory.
Ooh, a throw here towards the back, into the middle. Sharma is going to throw the assist. Time crap creeps up on us. 14 points scored by Factory, though. This game will go to 15. And there it is.
You can hear a hooter in the background.
Quite a good hooter. It's quite loud.
Covers a bit of distance. See these Manly players backing up point after point. A lot of familiar faces at this stage. And congratulations to them for staying in, I'd say, most points. You know, they've had a lot of fight, even though they haven't come away with it, with the prize. But I'd say that hasn't looked as one-sided during quite a few points. Has looked like a closer game.
Yeah, I think the scoreline is definitely unflattering for Manly. The game, as it's played out, has certainly felt closer, with both teams really getting their opportunities. It just seems to be that Factory being the only one who's managed to catch it in the end zone. Manly.
Yeah, and there's some top-class veteran players on the Factory team that have probably been a bit of a difference maker for them. Being able to settle the offense and calm things down sometimes when it You know, you kind of get white line fever. You just want the point to be over, but no, that's not always the easiest way to score.
So Meads, Johnston. Oh,
wow.
Huge piece
What
of that.
Great reaction there. And bravery, putting your arm or body in front of that.
Yeah, Meredith Otten, she's not long for Div 2, I don't think. I think that if it's not next year, it needs to surely be the year after that she goes to Div 1. She's entirely too talented. And
there
Otten,
she is again.
Otten again. She's close. She wants the outside in. It's not going to beat the defender of Sarah Gillett.
Smart defense there. Her player, the player that she was defending against, had cleared back into the middle of the field, but she had her eye on the disc. She knew that it was a dangerous area for someone to run into and catch a goal. Factory at it again.
Back to the block getter, Gillett.
Spreads the disc off the sideline, which is often a strategic advantage.
Johnstone. Oh, the hand goes out. Kate Munro can't catch it.
I mean, it's not often you see such a proactive reset throw. Maybe she wasn't expecting it.
Rosenthal, who's cut like a champ all day, goes to Otten. Back to Mackay. Out to Cho. And then the breakthrough's there to Jacobs. Jacobs is going to try the short one. Gillett.
It's a really nice spacing and, you know, throwing it across the width of the field from Manly there. Just unable to be consistent with throws and catches.
Munro, inside shoulder. Gillett does well to catch it. The throw, though, is not very good. It goes too high for Meads to catch. And Mackay benefits to put Manly on offense. They'd like a fourth if they could get it. Rosenthal. Jacobs. Jacobs, who's had a great game as well, through the hands of Mackay. Rosenthal catches it anyway. Doesn't matter for her. And Butler. Manly just trying to reset that stack, get back into their structure. And Otten inside the red zone. It's going to look for a few moments. Has Mackay to reset it. And then she's going to go to Otten. Otten gets turned around. And it is the much shorter Trin who gets the block.
She was a bit sandwiched there between two defenders, which means there was another player out there somewhere that was unmarked. That's the challenge, is finding them.
So Munro comes to the line. Factory going to go out of vertical as well. Munro has the deep cut. Puts up a pretty good one. Rosenthal reads it the best. Tansen getting it caught a little bit underneath. So Cho. Otten, who has put in one hell of an effort here in this game. She's run hard the entire time. Cho can't get there.
A little too far. It's a good option.
She's going to call an injury. She looks a little bit done. Looks like she will be replaced by Sean Mayer.
Impressive that some of these Manly players still have some legs, still have a lot of enthusiasm. Jacobs, Rosenthal, Otten.
Okay, Meads. Go back to Munro. Gillett. Some of the newer players combining. He'll curl ball. And there's the throw. Johnstone's going to catch the final point of this game. That is 15-3, the scoreline. Factory Frenzy, convincing winners.
After all that work from Manly, Factory are able to do it with one possession near the end zone.
What a game that has been. Manly probably not going to be terribly happy with the result there, but based on the fact that they only had 12 players, it's the result they're going to have to live with.
They'll live to play another game.
And a lot of these young players, these new players, they're here for the first time ever, second time ever. They've got a lot to learn still, and this gives them that opportunity, doesn't it, Leanne?
Absolutely. Playing, I mean, whilst it's not ideal to play with just 12 players, playing more points. It's like Factory want to play more points.
Well, I think that we have the wrong score. The scoreboard on the far sideline is showing 13-3. The game advisors have walked off the field.
Sometimes counting is hard. But yeah, being on a short roster at a tournament like this give you so many opportunities to build connections with your teammates and, you know, lots of situations that you're exposed to that maybe with a larger roster you wouldn't have as many touches of the disc, as many opportunities to play defense against top players.
I think our roving reporter, Andy Moroney, has managed to pull aside Cheryl Ringland.
Nice game. Second game of the day, first win of the day. Must feel pretty good.
It was good. It was good. We've had a bit of a back and forth with Manly, so it was good to come out and take this strongly. So, yeah, it was good.
Awesome. And in terms of the rest of the day, what kind of momentum or positivity are you going to take out of that game into the future games?
Yeah, hopefully we've gelled a bit more as a team. We've had a few newer people coming in that, we haven't played a lot with in the past, so it's good that we're finally getting those connections and playing a new team that we haven't played yet this season, Extinction, so that'll be exciting.
Nice one. Enjoy. Good luck. Dan, Leanne, back to you.
Thanks, Andy. Well, Leanne, any closing thoughts for this one?
No, just great to watch some strong women's frisbee and see what these teams do with the rest of the tournament.